What's up, YouTube? So, as you guys know, there are three new classes to the game: Warlock, Necromancer, and Monk. And if you're like me, who grinds up money and are wondering which class to get, well, I thought maybe I'd show a tutorial on how to use Warlock, and maybe I'll also do a video on Necromancer a couple days later. Because if you're a DPS guy like me, who likes to see big numbers, well, Warlock and Necromancer are kinda more of your class over Monk. Monk is a fun class to play more so than anything else. So let's get into it, because there's been quite a few of my friends who've been wondering how to play Warlock because it seems a bit complicated. So I'll be showing you a quick guide on how to play Warlock. First, we have our standard where is it? R2 move. This basically just puts stain on the enemy. It has three levels of stacking. It's always best to aim for the tree because it comes off very quickly. And always follow up with square, which is epidemic. This infects the taint from one enemy straight to everyone else that is also in the radius. You can also use aging, which is also able to spread. As it says here, it gradually slows the movement of the enemy and prevents them from using dash if it's in PvP. Next, we have Murder of Crows. As it clearly states, and I don't see many people actually using this, you should use Murder of Crows and also follow with Epidemic, because it makes the radius much bigger and is able to hit multiple enemies. You should also remember to put Murder of Crows on the strongest enemy there, because once that enemy is dead, it just disappears. So always aim to put it on the strongest person so it has the most effect. Dark Ritual, this basically prevents you from taking 90% damage. It is a 90% damage reduction and helps you regain your mana, because a lot of these moves, especially Epidemic, and when you see me switch stances, another move, they take a lot of your mana away. Next is Volatile Curse. This basically puts a curse on the enemy, and it's like a shield on the enemy. A bar appears underneath the name. If you can break that curse within the 7 seconds, it will do 300 to 500% of the damage you've dealt to that enemy. So for example, I managed to deal 53 million in my divine form by breaking the curse alone by myself. However, this curse is not easy to break in your standard farm, well, for me anyway, and if you're a weak person like me, you know, I'm only 193k. So it's best to use this in a group with person you could communicate to to get as much damage as possible. Bewitch, this is sort of like what it sounds. It bewitches the enemy. It makes them move slow, and I guess that's the best way you can put it in simple terms. Then we have our ultimate. I'll also be showing you guys how to use that, although there's not much of a requirement. We have flying on a broom. When you dash, it reduces 80% of the damage you take, so if you're in a tight situation, you should know to use your dashes accordingly. And 9th life. This is probably the best feature of the Warlock. You basically get 2 lives. Once your health hits 0, it goes back to 100%. And for the next 6 minutes, you can't do that, but if you can survive whatever you're doing for the next 6 minutes, you can do that over and over. It's basically like having a second life. Over to the extermination stance. This is a bit more complicated. After you inflict taint on the enemy, which is your normal R2, you use square if you want for Actually, it's a lot easier to explain these ones by actually showing you. First, we have our standard R2, which inflicts taint. It has 3 levels, as you can see under the enemy's name, and it lasts for 9 seconds. Then if you use square, it will spread to this enemy here as well. The timer is now 9 seconds on this as well. Once it's over, as you can see, none of your R1 moves will work when you switch stances. You have to have the taint on it for it to be effective. Next up, if you use your triangle, as you can see, and then square, it gets wider. But once the enemy died, it just disappeared instantly. That's just your L2, your finishing move. Next, Bewitch, as you can see. The clear indicator by the heart shows that it has been successfully activated, and they will move slowly towards you, or they just may not move at all. We have Aging, which also does something similar by making it move slowly, and also can be spread using Square or Epidemic. And moving on to when you switch stances, we have our AoE move right here. Personally, I don't use it because, well, if I'm soloing, it's quite difficult to get off while they're surrounded by enemies, and it just doesn't seem like it's worth the time. But if you're in a big group and you're like focusing on the boss, I recommend using this move as much as you can. Now let's just kill these enemies. Alright, as we wait for the next set to respawn, I'll be showing you after you've inflicted, and then you can use triangle, which is a move that affects multiple enemies. I recommend using this in groups. Like if you're by yourself and there's a big set of enemies, that is a move you can use. That's the triangle when you switch stances. Next is square. This does a good bit of damage, and I'd recommend using it, but for the best effect, I'd recommend putting that on and then using O, as this deals the most damage. That enemy is too weak to clearly explain. Alright. 5 seconds. Right. First you inflict 13th. Then if you use O quickly, this move deals the most damage. And after it's done, if you use if I did it too slowly, I'm sorry guys. Let's just kill that enemy. By the way, the moves that I'm showing you guys now are best used against like bosses with a lot of health, and there's like a tank to keep damage off of you. Use O as quickly as possible. And after that, finish up, follow up with square, and that gets you as much damage as you possibly can out of that time. This was a mistake. Next I will be trying to break the curse. It's not an easy task to do, as you guys will see by yourself, but if I can manage to pull it off, you'll see the amount of damage it does and how effective it really is. I'll just show you my ultimate one time. It's a pretty cool move. Can I break this curse? Yes, I managed to do it. Because they're in training hall, it didn't really do as much damage, but if you're fighting like a boss, say with 80 bars or something, it can Depending on your might and your level, you could take off about, let's say, 10 to 20 bars with that, because it does 300 to 500% more damage. Especially if you get lucky to get that 500%, it does quite a bit of damage. And I'd recommend at least having one Warlock along in those adventures. But this timer is 2 minutes, and it's shared among all Warlocks. So, you know, trying to get a bunch of Warlocks and trying to spam this move, it won't work. And I think that's basically it for Warlock. Sorry if I mumbled a lot, or I'm unclear to understand, because this is my first video and, you know, under a little pressure. But I'm just gonna try to upload more tutorial videos, as I've been hearing I've been seeing, let me not say hearing, I've been seeing a lot of people using a lot of classes and not using them to their full potential, especially the Necromancer. I have a friend who uses it and uses it quite well, but when I go into the other instances with other people using it, I hardly see them touching any of their abilities or making full use of its abilities. So I think I'll try to make a tutorial on Necromancer, but if there's anything you guys want me to enlighten you on, you know, just leave a comment saying what you want. And also, there seems to be quite a lot of people who still don't have this artifact. If you'd also like me to make a video on how to clearly get this, because I haven't been seeing it much on YouTube, I'd be sure to leave it in the comments, and I will try my best to get around to doing it. And again, I'm sorry for all the mumbling. It's a bit unprofessional, but it's my first video and I'm just here really trying to help people out more so than anything else. If you want to see more types of this video, you know, subscribe, because I'll be trying my best to upload multiple classes. And I guess that's it.